Hello there, welcome to Genessis Models. My name's Bob Waldron and welcome to this month's Q&A. Questions and answers for you guys. So we'll just jump straight in. We have our first question here from Manlino Leguiro. Sorry if I'm pronouncing these names wrong. You know me, it's really hard to do some of these. But first off, we have, can Tamiya glue as well as Mr. Cement glue be paint plastic? Do they still have the same grip with paint on them? Basically what that's saying is whenever we glue our parts to our models, you know, things like landing gear which we've sprayed and then we glue them into the model, right, does it still stick as good if we kind of leave them unpainted? I have found that, okay, yes, really you kind of do want to come along with like a little blade, take your little tiny piece, scrape off any sort of paint where it's going to actually glue onto the model, and it would glue better to the model. However, as much as really that's what you should do, I have found over the years and years that really you can just get away with it. It's not really a massive big deal. I have found that even if there is paint on any sort of piece and you go to glue it into the model, you know, it still does seem to glue. Maybe in some cases where you've got tiny little pieces, it does help to maybe scrape the paint off, but apart from that, it really is something I've been gaining away for years and years and years and had no problems with, so not really something to worry about getting rid of that paint off your little pieces. Then we have Mike S. He says, do you clean your brushes after each painting session? See, now when cleaning paint brushes and even airbrushes, right, really, yeah, you should clean them all the time, every time, you know, as soon as you've used them, even in between changing colors, really. And really what you want to be using is, you know, I have shown you this to you guys before. You know, we have the Masters here, which is a nice brush cleaner and a preserver. It's like a conditioner and it keeps your brushes, well, it cleans your brushes even better and easier, as well as it conditions them and keeps all the bristles nice, a bit like you know, shampoo, hair conditioner, whatever the women use. You know, supposed to keeps the hairs all really nice. Do I do it every single time? In all honesty, no. You know, personally, you know, I should, but I don't. I do tend to, you know, if I use sort of things like enamels or lacquers or really sort of, you know, kind of nasty paints, I do go off and use this stuff every time, because I know that kind of stuff can really sort of damage your paint brushes, so it is good to get this stuff out and clean it. When I'm using acrylics, I should, but I don't do it all the time, is kind of your answer. And I've sort of had no sort of problems there. You know, maybe some brushes kind of, you know, get sort of used up a little bit quicker than normal, but you know, it's just my personal preference on that. We then have one here by Mark. He's basically asking about Pledge Clear multi-surface wax polish. And what he's basically asking in his question, it's a little bit long, but basically he uses enamels, right, to paint his models, and what he's basically asking is it okay to, you know, spray, you know, the multi-surface wax, Pledge Clear, whatever you want to call it, on top of enamel paints and then do all your deckling and another coat of gloss followed by weathering? Nice quick answer to that, absolutely fine. You know, as long as really, you know, that paint is dry, which he does say it is, you know, absolutely fine. In fact, it's what you should be doing, right? You want to be, these days, you know, weathering products are generally sort of like enamel based, oil based, right? So you want to use something like, you know, Pledge Clear multi-surface wax cleaner, so as you've got this kind of like oil to water thing going on where they don't mix, and which helps you sort of be able to put things like enamel washes down and stuff. If you was to seal your model in with, say, an enamel based gloss, and then you started using these, you know, we've got Ammo and AK sort of enamel based weathering products, because they're both enamel based, they're going to mix, and your weathering products are just going to mix in with your glossy your paint surface you put on, and then it'll eat into your paint work. Really big no-no. So, you know, just think of like, you know, enamels and sort of water-based paints is like oil to water, and you kind of, you know, you don't want things mixing, which is why we use you know, things like, you know, a water-based, acrylic-based kind of glosses, so when we put enamel-based weathering products on there, they don't mix, and it's all good. Next question we have here is Fred Norman. Really long one, so I'll just kind of, you know, break it down a little bit. What he's basically saying is his wife accidentally, doing a bit of cleaning, broke one of the canopies off one of his completed models, and because it was broke, she threw it in the bin. And basically he's like, how do you get around sort of replacing something like this? Well, really, when a canopy, you know, has come off and broke into pieces, it isn't something you can repair, right? Yes, you can glue it together, but you're going to have these cracks, these big nasty cracks down a canopy, so it is kind of like dead. You've got to find a replacement. Now, when it comes to replacement canopies, you have a couple of options. First off, go out, maybe look at aftermarket parts, right? You have these companies who do vacuum foam canopies, right? And not very expensive. I don't like using them. They're a bit of a pain, but you could get yourself a, you know, a replacement canopy that way. Another one is, I know people might kind of think, oh, you know, asking the manufacturer and going off and giving them email isn't going to kind of do anything, but actually I have in the past. I know Revell, I sent them an email saying how my canopy was cracked, and they sent me a replacement. All they asked for was, I think it was just postage and packaging. So, you know, really, you know, go try those manufacturers. They might have these policies in place where they actually send you out a brand new canopy. Fingers crossed. Another one is, you know, ask around. I mean, you know, the Genessis Models forum, there's absolutely a load of fantastic guys out there, and I've read and heard all sorts of stories where people are helping people out, and they send people this and they send people that. You know, just go post on the forum, ask on the forum, and somebody might go, yeah, I've got a spare one in my collection. I suppose the last sort of thing really is the gutting one, which is actually buy a whole new kit just to take the canopy out, which I know is an absolute last resort because it is the last thing anybody wants to go off and do. There is one more option. In your case, sorry, what was your name again? Fred. In your case, you said your wife actually threw it in the bin. I mean, there is one other thing you can do. I'm going to probably do a tutorial on that in the future. You could have got the canopy, you could have glued it together, and what you do is you sort of put a load of putty on the inside, and you sort of mount it in a way so it's kind of just standing up high, and you can get these, it's like clear plastic, like a bit like plastic card, but it's really sort of clear, and you get it really sort of thin stuff. And what you do, you heat it up over, say, a candle or something, right? And then as it's really heated up and it's kind of melted, you just quickly go zoom, and it just makes this kind of, you know, shape of your canopy. And you could do stuff like that. Again, that's probably like something I need to show you in a later tutorial. I need to get things set up to show you that. But those are sort of your options. So, you know, I'd recommend going, asking on the forum, emailing the manufacturer, and see how you get on there. So then we have our last question. Actually, no, that was all the questions done. So there's your Q&As. Please get your Q&As in for next month. You know, you've got posts on the forum where you can, there's no specific area where you can actually like post what questions you want, but any sort of emails, PMs, anything I see you guys posting on YouTube, on the forum, you know, I kind of put these questions together and bring you this every month, so get them in. Apart from that, hopefully you have enjoyed these Q&As, but until next time, as always, my name's Bob Waldron, this is Genessis Models, and I'll catch you later.